All right, good morning, Kathy. All right, hopefully this is still recording. Slight technical difficulty. Okay, let's try this again. So, going to bmcconline.org, we're going to log in, and eventually you should see Eastern Promise class shells. And in there, you should have Math 112, Section 12, Trigonometry, Winter 2014. Selecting that should bring us to the main course shell eventually. Now I'll clean up these announcements later today. To control the announcements, they're under Course Home. It's at the top here. Switching from Course, which is what students see, to Author, you can change the content. So you probably don't need to use any announcements because you see these kids every day, but you could always add an announcement or delete an announcement or edit an announcement here. Switching back to course, students will do work under MML homework. Let's take a peek at that and then follow that link. So this is where students go. I'll show you the rest of the instructor stuff in a moment. And this will give them access to any homework that's around right now. So they're still checking out their grades, so I'm going to leave these here for a couple more days. Active homework for the new stuff is here at the top. So right now I just have Chapter 9 homework up that they can then click on and get into. They have due dates right now of June 30th. I'll show you how to change that. Instructor tools are what you want to manage stuff. So you have the MML gradebook where you can go view grades and change them if you need to. And homework is where we go mess around with homework settings and test settings. So let's take a look at the gradebook. So in the gradebook are all the students that were previously in there. We can make any of them inactive if you want, or you can just leave them active. So right now they're all active in the class. That doesn't mean they're doing anything, it just means they can if they wish. Here you can view, say, homework grades by clicking on homework. And you can see for particular assignments what students are doing. And you can scroll through those assignments one at a time, or a page at a time, or jump to the end of assignments. Now, we're at the end and we're not seeing the Chapter 9 because I reordered stuff for the Chapter 9 to be at the beginning. So if we go to the beginning here, we should see the Chapter 9 homework. And right now I'm omitting those scores from the gradebook so as not to confuse them with the stuff they were graded for in the last course, which they are. We are still checking out. And those will lighten up once I switch over completely. So it's not a big deal. They can start working on Chapter 9 now, even though they're not showing the grade in the gradebook yet. It's just a switch I have to turn. You can, either earlier when you first got into the gradebook or here, click on a particular student, and then it will bring up details for that particular student, when they worked on assignment, how long they spent on it, what their raw score is, and what their percent score is. And then, if needed, we can go in and take a look at the assignment to see which ones they got right or wrong. And sometimes I'll do that when they email me a question, so I can look at the question they had trouble with, if they didn't already tell me. And then also from the screen, I can email them and go to the next student. Now, right now, it's showing only homework. I can switch to all assignments. It'll show me homework, tests, quizzes, anything that's been out there. If it's gray, it means it's being omitted from the grade book. If it's black, it means it's part of the grade. All right, let's go back to the grade book. In the grade book, we also have control over the weights of the assignments. And I have it set right now to assignment weighting only. So that's like a batting average. Whatever points the assignment is worth is in the denominator. Numerator is however many points they received, all added up. And we can control how much anything is worth. And so I generally do homework assignments are 10 points, and tests are 100 points. Corrections and practice tests are worth 20 points. All right, Assignment Manager is where we can go in and play with assignment settings. So for example, for a particular assignment, see Chapter 9's at the top, you can go in and change and play with settings for class or settings for an individual. Settings for class are where we can set the due date, if they're allowed to work after the due date, if they require a password, if there's a penalty for working after the due date. We can set prerequisites. I use that on tests, for example, if they're required to pass a practice test first. We can add a prerequisite there just by choosing change and selecting the prerequisite assignment and a parameter on that. And the other things here, usually we don't have to mess with. We just go with the default values. Cancel out. And then when we're done, if we edit these, we want to do save and assign, not just save. If we click save after it was assigned, it will unassign it, but save the settings, which is not good. Usually we want save and assign. And cancel is fine here. And we can see they have a check to indicate they are assigned and their homework assignments. All right, so the big things you want are, again, the test manager where we can play with individual assignments, settings, and the grade book where we can see what the students have done and when. The change dates and assignments status is kind of nice because then I can bulk change things. So maybe we decide instead of at the end of June for Chapter 9, we want to set that for 2 weeks from now. So then we could just go to due date category and go 2 weeks from now, which will put us on the 14th. And then we select the assignments we want to apply that to. And then we apply to those selected assignments. And then after it's applied, we update the changes. As opposed to changing each one individually in the regular homework and test manager. So this allows us to bulk change things, which is kind of nice. All right, so those are 2 weeks from now. We'll look at that if that's okay or not. All right, I think that's about all that you need. If you have any questions, give me a call. I'll call you to double check soon. Bye-bye.